Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Torra.
and this is our podcast, Kicking It with Kim and Torra. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, we have four topics that we wanted to talk about. And the first topic that we're going to talk about is Dr. Dre and everything that's going on in the news with him. Oh, let me get the alarm. So, in the news, Dr. Dre has been, we have learned that he's required to pay his ex wife how much, Torah?
I believe it's almost $3 million
Per year.
per year. And then
Right.
she
And
gets almost like $300, 300,000 a month in child support. I think that was just alimony for her. But I think the child support was $300 a month.
they have minor children as well.
Yeah. And my thing is this. I have been seeing this time and time again, and I have no problem. I mean, literally no problem. I think every man who births a child and every woman who births a child should take great care of that child. That is just bar none. But what I found out is that in the biracial community, when the black man is the wealthiest one, it seems like his money always goes back into that community in which, because we know we, like I'm saying, we have table talk conversations in our house. We have those conversations. We go on in our house, stay in our house, so we know what black fathers say, we know what black mothers say, we know what black people say. And they always say that black men, and I've never heard this with black women, but black men will make money and die young, and they money go right back into,
Oh, and leave it all to a white woman, you mean? And go
yeah, and
to
it
the
goes
white
right back into
community,
the community, their community,
the
because it's
white
not like
community, the
it's not
wealthy
like the Caucasian
community,
community is going to move in the hood and uplift the hood, or move in low income housing, or move in a black community and uplift the black. It's not. They're going to even move further in one if the black man is gone at an early age. You know what I'm saying? She's
mhm.
not gonna. She's not gonna say, "Well, no, my kids need to identify with their black side, so we're gonna stay in a predominantly black
Oh,
neighborhood
no.
and
Yeah, that's not
our
going to
tax
happen.
bracket and our school system." That's not gonna happen. So it's almost like we keep doing this. We keep doing this, and I
Returning our wealth back to them, you mean?
returning our wealth back, because at this point in time, even though it's a portion of the wealth, it's still going back.
Mhm.
He's gonna probably
Significant
live.
portion. I mean, well, it's not a significant portion of what he has, but it's a significant amount. Even if it's only a small portion of what he has, that's a lot of money.
I think so. And I just think that as black people, if we don't start securing our bag, we are going to lose. Even though I think we have come up a lot. I'm quite sure there were a lot of millionaires. And from when I've been doing my study, there were a lot more black millionaires and hundredaires when we were younger. You know what I mean? That we didn't know about, like during the Black Wall Street era. They were like hundreds of them. So even though we see the Oprahs and the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's and the Kanye's, we see those billionaires. But from what I'm hearing, like the Madam C.J. Walker era and beyond, and they were millions of them. There were
Mhm.
millions of that we just didn't know about and never received the credit for, but they supplied the black community, which created all those black wealthy neighborhoods like Black Wall Street.
That goes right back to what we talked about before about Black people getting money or getting educated and then moving right out of the hood to another environment so nobody sees them. So, like you're saying, they're not going to the barber shop or the grocery store or anything. They're out in some suburban area with people who don't look like us. What do you think about how much about her getting that much money on
Um,
an annual basis?
and I don't know. It seems like he didn't approve of it either, because what I've heard, he fought tooth and nail for her not to get any money like that. So clearly, he wasn't with that amount either. I think it's unfair. I feel like he had been with so many women. Yes, you happen to be the wife, and yes, you happen to be the mother of his children, but he has plenty children, and he had plenty of wives, or plenty of women that were like his wives, and they aren't even walking away with it. So just because you signed a piece of paper and said some vows, all of a sudden you get this majority of the amount of
They
money.
weren't married for like 18 years or some kind of crazy stuff.
It was probably like maybe 18, 19 years. They were together, maybe together 20, but married 18, 19. But it was still the simple fact that you were not the creative person who created his wealth. You weren't. You were just the wife. So my thing is this: I think he definitely should take care of those kids. I think his wife definitely should receive a stipend for the fact that she was probably a great wife to him. But at the end of the day, $3 million a year for the rest of her life is what they're
Well,
saying she gets.
that's what he gets. I mean, well, I take that back.
No, he
But
probably does deserve that, but I wish it was someone of our hue.
now then I would feel a lot happier
Of
about it.
course,
Yeah.
because like I said, your school system, the tax brackets, everything would fall back into line and nobody would really be getting shanked out of this.
Right. It
I
would still
promise
be
you.
reinvested in our community.
Exactly.
But Dr. Dre has a horrible reputation. As I said, I had heard on the radio today that he has a 38-year-old daughter.
I
Now,
heard.
imagine this. They're reporting that he's going to be giving his wife 3 million, his white wife, $3 million a year. And now it's coming out that he has a 38-year-old black daughter who is homeless,
Mhm.
who has 4 children,
Mhm.
who has not spoken to him in 18 years except through his camp, and the kids are staying with different people. If you have enough money that a court has ordered you to pay somebody 3 million a year, why is she home? I don't care what she said to you, what she did to you. I don't know
Your
that she did
grandkids didn't
anything.
do it. Your grandkids didn't do it. You could
Your
easily.
blood flows through her
That's
veins.
right.
And yes,
That's right.
I would just buy her a house and a car and put some money in the bank and be like, boom, I'm not going to
You won't
be
be
that
homeless.
wealthy and you're on the
You won't,
street.
yeah, you won't be homeless, but you and our relationship is broken. My grandkids get older. They want to come see me. I'm here, but you and I are done. I'm just providing. This is for my grandkids, and I live and die by that. Because if he was that type of man to say, you know what, I know I haven't done right by my daughter because I don't like her for whatever reason, but just
Which is
do right
crazy.
by your blood. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm going to be honest. Even if she didn't have any grandchildren, if that was my child, and she said the most horrible things to me, and we have no relationship, and I'm a billionaire, okay, you are not going to be sleeping on the street. I will buy you a house, buy a car, put you in it, probably put some money aside, not a lot, because
Mhm.
after all, you're so ungrateful. But I
Mhm.
would make sure you could eat and have
Yeah, if
gas
I
and
was a
electric and
billionaire, I
food.
think
A
I could
billionaire.
provide for you. I don't know if I would give you what you want, but I definitely
Right.
probably would give you what I think you need, which is
The
a nice
basics.
apartment,
Yeah.
maybe even a up-to-date car that runs so you can go back and forth to work or whatever. Or if you told me you wanted to go to school, that would be paid for. But no, I definitely understand tough love when it comes to money because some people think just because you got it, they should have it.
But you're
I
not
know
going to be on the street. I
you're not.
can tell you that. If
And
I'm
that
a
the kid
billionaire, there's
homeless.
no seed of mine that's
But
going to be on the street.
think of the power that he has because that's just me. This just me. I have best friends, I have good friends, and I have associates. Okay.
Mhm.
None of them or their children, if I was a billionaire,
As a billionaire, yeah.
would be on the street. So you got to imagine he has friends that know this, and they haven't stepped even in that role to be like, yo, look, you can be mad at me all you want. I went and put your daughter in an apartment. I gave her a little Hyundai to drive around with, reliable for her and the kids, and she won't go back to school, so I pay for the school.
I wonder
Why
what
aren't
the
your
real
friends,
story.
even if you, because then even if he pays you back, you know what I mean? He's not even touching his daughter. He's paying his friend like, yeah, all right, I write the check or
Or
whatever.
just even if she's saying I only speak to him through his team, even just have your business manager or something. Make sure every month she
That
gets a
lets you
certain
know.
amount. Yeah, we don't talk, but it's my daughter. I wonder if I mean, now this is just going out on a limb, but I
Mhm.
wonder if she has mental health issues or something. A lot of times when people are
Yeah,
homeless, they do.
yeah.
And sometimes people won't accept your help. But he has a reputation for being a very
Violence. All his
violent,
baby mothers say they put the
misogynist.
down.
He really, yeah, he is very misogynistic. He doesn't give a, I mean, he has beat down women.
And these are black women. And you know, usually we are tight-lipped what go on in our house. These black women have said Dre have beat them down. All the baby mothers have. Now, the one that he was with now, his wife, well, not with now, but the one that he's divorcing, swore up and down on stacks of Bibles that he never put his hands on her. Now that they getting a divorce, girlfriend is like, nah, he used to put my head through some walls too. I knew it. We
But
all knew
she
it.
said, I mean, yeah, you're not that violent, and then all of a sudden, just because she's white or just because you get married, all of that goes away. That's not how it
Girl,
works.
all of us sisters knew. We was like, girl, what make you any different? You didn't lost your mind. You just know not
Well,
to open
maybe,
your mouth because you still getting the paper. We know if he beat this person, and this person. And I don't know if you remember when we were younger, but Dee Barnes was a VJ and she's like a video um, journalist. And she asked him a question that he did not like, or no, he did. Matter of fact, she didn't even ask him the question. She asked somebody else a question. He heard about the question. He didn't like the question and went up on her job. And her and a team of guys beat her down. Now, mind you, I remember being young and me and all my friends, we was like, oh, we wish we was in, we wish that was us. Because we were doing that type of stuff back then. We were trying to, go up to celebrities and interview them. And we had our little camera around. I wish we could find footage of that stuff. But
oh wow.
we had the old little VH tape camera. I mean, walking around in our light. We
Like
used
a
to,
camcorder, I think we used to
it was a
call it.
camcorder, yep,
Mhm.
and had the big old VH tape in it though. So
Mhm.
we used to do stuff like that, and we would always be like, oh, I wish he would try to catch us with because. Like it's just not gonna be fun, I don't know how they get caught out there like that, but it wouldn't have been fun for you to try to run up on our girls. Like this would have still been going on in the 2021 year because we were like, I was even mad. I was like, where's her friend? She had no one. Dee had no one. People turned their back on her. I believe she was even homeless at one time.
She's homeless now, or it's sometime in the
Yeah, she
recent.
had to start a GoFundMe, and I think it generated a little bit, not a little bit, but it generated a lot of money for what she needed. I think she had like a $5,000 cap, but it went over that
Oh,
because
good.
people stopped fooling her. And what people don't realize is in the industry, if I have a beef with Beyonce and I'm just some mediocre singer trying to come out the gate, Beyonce, I'm using only her as my, example.
Mhm.
I know I would never have beef with her, but
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I know I would never have beef with Beyonce, but let me tell you, if I ever had beef with her and I was a mediocre singer, I know that the industry would be like, this girl has her hand in everything, commercials, movies. She's a Grammy, a critically acclaimed award winner.
Her husband is
Her
so
husband got the
powerful.
whole game shut down on it. And then
Mhm.
he comes with a team of people. You really think we're gonna help you out? We really think we're gonna shine with you and roll with you? You gonna cast me to the side like I'm yesterday's news.
Yeah,
But
because
when
they're
that
like, we don't want to get on Beyonce's bad side.
bad
Oh,
side and
no.
nothing comes to us because of you, you're not
Right.
worth it. And I know Dee probably felt that coming up because that's what happened to her.
But the tragedy of it is that she didn't do anything to him. He did something to her. It'd be different if she slandered him or
Oh, that's
just
not even her.
something.
It's just the beef that he had with her. So it's the beef he had with her trickles down to everybody not wanting to have his empire and his group and his gang to come after them. And it's like,
Mhm.
come on, y'all. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish she had stood on that ground and just kept going around talking about it. Anybody who would listen, stand on the corner, show pictures, blow them up, big old poster size pictures. This is what he did to me. He broke my jaw. He bust my head. Like, keep talking about to the point where as though you gonna make all that money you back, then you lost, you gonna make it back.
Yeah, do an independent movie. See, in these days, maybe not back then when that happened, but in these
She
days,
wasn't
you
in the
don't
movie,
really
by
have
the
to
way.
go through a company. You can just put your stuff online and try to get everyday people to support you.
Listen,
You know,
she wasn't even in the movie, and she fought for. I think she wanted to be in the movie that they had, NWA movie.
that
That
Straight Outta Compton movie.
Straight out of Compton movie. Yeah, I think she wanted to be in that segment in, but they was like, no, this is a celebration. This ain't a. And so my
They
thing is this:
showed him beating the crap out of Michelle.
listen, listen. Why didn't you at that point? You could have put your GoFundMe for that up. and
Mhm.
told your story. You would have been like, yo, I need to go. I need to tell this side of my. Look what they did to R. Kelly. Whoever, whoever did that, they slapped him with a, hold on. R. Kelly is more than just a singer. Y'all, I don't know if everybody saw the documentary with R. Kelly, but I did. I saw how he was having women, in his house, and I heard the interview with his wife, and I mean, it was
Are you
interesting.
talking about that expos? I think our time is up. I don't know what happened. I looked at it, but anyway, are you talking about that big expose his wife did on him just recently?
Yes,
That
yes,
was
people are
horrible.
like, yeah, I know.
That
But
was
but
horrible.
she flip and flop though. One minute she say he didn't do stuff, and then the next minute she do. But
The
she got
level,
the point
well, I
across.
guess we kind of veered off, but the level of abuse that she alleges, hog tie in her. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. And remember
it's
he said hog tie. I don't know how to hog tie nobody.
no, I
When he
didn't.
was at,
I didn't
he
hear
was
it.
at
I
what's
didn't hear it.
Oprah best friend Gail.
Oh, when
Gail
she
interviewed
interviewed
him.
him.
The iconic interview that Gail did. He said in that interview, I don't know how to hog tie nobody. She
I
said, oh,
don't fool with any of them. All right, so so moving on to our next topic. I don't know why the alarm didn't go off, but moving on to our next topic is the occult or dark side of the music industry. Because on TikTok recently, I have been seeing like some little videos and they'll show the before fame and the after fame. And
mhm.
they show how Nas X was an attractive young
I see the
man
picture. I see
and
the
now
picture.
he's all over the place. They showed
No, he was
Lil
a
Uzi
regular
Vert.
boy attractive. Like
Yeah, he
this
was
picture
cute.
I'm
He was
looking at.
actually a cute little boy.
Yes, this picture I'm looking at, he's just no, like you would walk past him in the mall and probably like nostrils would flare, and you'd be like, he cute. Because he
Okay.
looks very tall. I don't, it doesn't say like how tall he is, but it says he's tall. He's very fit, very thin. He has a nice little shape. But then
But not just him. They did it with Lil Uzi Vert. They did it with him. They did it with a number of other people. I couldn't find the little video clip again, but they're showing how the people come into the industry just wholesome,
mhm.
young people, and then once they're in the industry, they're all turned out.
And I can believe that
Me
because
too.
I remember watching Madonna on Secrets back in my day, and I remember all the girls who watched it. I mean, I had the book even because I was a Madonna fan, and I just
Okay.
remember when she put the bottle in her mouth and was acting like she was giving fellatio to a bottle that she was drinking. I just remember going to so many parties and girls was doing that, and I knew that that was
I saw
influential.
of that. That wasn't a thing in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that was very. She was very, as far as the sex part of it and turning out and all this. She was very influential in that era. And so, if that turned up to 110 degrees now, can
Mhm.
you only imagine how they turning people out and making it seem like whatever you do and whatever is being done is okay? Because Madonna just went after, I think it was the baby, because he made a comment. The rapper, the baby, made a comment about
It is. Everybody's after him.
yeah, because he made a comment about, he don't want no homos at his shows
Oh
that
yeah, I
that,
saw
that
that.
got AIDS and spread it. And that's what I got
It
from it.
was ignorant, but I mean, not enough for. They take everything so seriously. Like you can't say
Cancel culture.
anything. Like beat it. Leave that boy
Cancel
alone.
culture. I'm telling you,
I
you
mean,
say
you
one
can't
bad
even just
thing.
say how ignorant is he because whatever, and keep it moving. We've
And
got
he
to go in.
apologized, which is something I
I'm
hate.
tired of apologize. Don't apologize anymore.
Which is something I hate. Like my mother can vouch to this. I didn't got my butt beat black and blue for not just saying those little words. I'm sorry. And I wouldn't have. If I said what I said at my concert and my friends cheered me on and my fans cheered me on, I would have, and maybe if they did like took it out of context, I would have been like, listen, y'all, I was saying I don't like anybody who's homosexual, gay, that is spreading AIDS. And it's a fact that it's true. I have gay friends that tell me there's a website, there's an app where there's people who have AIDS on there and they say it and people go after them. Like not go after them to hurt them, to have sex with them. So
Uh,
my thing is this, it is true. And he probably heard about it and just was said it out loud. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, literally said it out loud. And but I would have explained myself, but I could not have apologized because
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with apologizing in an appropriate circumstance, but I'm tired of people having to keep apologizing for saying what they feel.
And I think
That
it's
is
their
his
thinking
opinion.
too.
And you can come out and say, man, he's a clown. I
Yeah.
don't agree with it. I think this, and that. But just to cancel him and just go in on him and try to get his, I mean, come on,
That
people.
would be the first thing out of my mouth, y'all. I'm not apologizing. However, I'm just trying to explain to you what I was saying. If you want to take it wherever you want to take it, I can't stop you because you're going to do that even if I did apologize. So that's why I'm not apologizing. But I will tell you, I don't have any problem with gay people. And that's what he said. He said, I had gay people that I was rocking with at my show that knew all my lyrics. And so my thing is this, I feel like that. Remember, I was telling you about the TV show Val, how in there was a cult and they were saying that you have to be able to give something very important about yourself as a secret so they can hold on to so you can keep going up more levels and more
Well,
levels and
you
more
can
levels.
see how people change. You can see how they do become very dark after being in the industry, like Young Thug, you know, wearing ladies' clothes. And I mean, they change them. They don't present a wholesome image like how it used to be with the Disney days. Everything is dark now. Men paint their nails. That was another TikTok thing. She showed some kids that I'm really not familiar with, but how wholesome they were as well. And then every picture, they were men. They had their nails painted,
I don't,
you know.
Kim, I can't blame it on the industry because I heard Alicia Keys say she took her son to the nail salon with her. And he was like, he said something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but she was like, you want to get your nails done? And she was like, he said, no, no, I don't think daddy would like that. Or I don't think guys would like that. And she was like, what are you talking about? Guys can get their nails painted if they want. And she's like, and I had to
Don't
let him know.
even send your son down that road. Let him be a man. He already knew what his place was.
And when she said it, I was trying to find her coming from such a great place as a mother, right? Like I was trying to
I
find,
just don't see it.
but but what got me was I think that is great to say if he's in his teens and he like, mom, where you going? I'm gonna get my nails done. Well, I want to go, and then he says,
I think it's great to say if he wants it done,
"That's
but
what I'm
I
saying."
don't think it's great to say if he's saying, no, that's not my thing. What do you mean? But no, I think the industry
That's what I.
definitely requires a darkness. I think the industry definitely is built on a dark platform.
What,
And I
in
think that
that
it's clear
Keys
in the
thing,
music. It's clear in the music. There's no there's no don't worry, be happy anymore. It's all F that be. I mean,
okay, listen,
it's
but
dark.
in the Alicia Keys example, where are the parents, grandparents, guardians that are saying this is not cool? Because
Well, in the
what the
Alicia
industry
Keys
said that to her
situation,
son, like it's okay if you want to wear a dress, it's okay if you want to get your nails painted. Well, now you got this mom who's very supportive of that. Me, call me a bad mom, I could care less. But if my son was in that same position and the industry was like, you want to get your nails done, you want to wear a dress, I'd be like, boy, if you lost your daggone mind,
right? But see,
you have lost your mind. I don't
these
care
are
what the
not
money they're offering you.
these are people who don't have money. I mean, I saw Lil Uzi Vert on this was some while ago on YouTube or something,
Mhm.
do the circle with the candles and all that, and saying, I think it was him, and saying, yeah, I'm going to sell my soul. Just give me that cash. It's a dark industry,
He
and
said that.
so yeah, I see. I hate that I might be there was, I believe it was Lil Uzi Vert, because I remember saying to my kids, don't listen to him. Something
I
is wrong with him. But they're so
love him.
impoverished. And so parents aren't saying, no, I don't want you to do that.
See that
And
money.
then these kids, even though I don't think they're minors, they're not consulting their parents. They're saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Plus, this is fame culture. So it's not even just the money. It is everybody's going to know who I am. I'm going to be
Oh yeah, yeah.
famous, and whatever you
Fame and
ask me
fortune.
to do, I'm going to do it because I want it that bad.
See, one thing for me, I didn't know when I was poor we were poor. I didn't know. I didn't know because nobody ever told me was we were poor. I just thought that's how life was. So I've never been afraid of that. And I've heard there was people like Joan Crawford, the famous Joan Crawford, who was very dirt poor, and
Oh,
she
I heard she was real mean to her. Isn't
said,
that Mommy Dearest?
yes, that's Mommy Dearest.
Okay.
And I heard that she vowed she will never eat crow again. Like she was that poor that she vowed. And so once I heard and read that story of how people are just so dirt poor and homeless and down on their luck that they vow to never be that ever again. I don't know that because yes, if we do have to sleep outside with a tent, you know me, I'm gonna make that most fabulous experience ever.
Right.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fabulous. Yes, we're gonna be hurting. No, yes, y'all, but you ain't gonna know. Like if I had to raise you, like you will not know if we in the back of my car or my truck and we piled up with blankets, and you will not know that that's not what everybody else doing. So my thing is this: I feel like it's a world out there who has been told and shown through this social media. And remember, people used to call it the idiot box, the TV.
Mhm.
I feel like they have been showed through that a lifestyle, and everybody's still trying to get to that lifestyle, but not realizing. Like, do you know how many houses I've clicked on and wanted to buy beautiful homes? And when I see pending under contract, I'm like, oh, like there's not that feeling of, dang, I lost another one. Oh, I wish I had that one.
I'm not with the materialism thing. Like, I do like quality and I
Mhm,
do like to live well and I do like to travel. I mean, I like what I
mhm.
like, but I'm not overly materialistic and I don't admire that. And I don't want to be a part of that. I just think
But you know
that
why?
people are misguided when they do that.
It's because you like it for you. That's why. So when you do buy designer, when you do want nice things or live in a nice place or drive a nice car, you want it for you. You're
Right.
not doing it for her and
Oh,
him
yeah, no, no,
and
no.
them.
I want to enjoy the experience
Yep.
of having or being or doing.
And once everybody stop doing it for everybody else, then you don't need it. You know what I mean? Then you don't even need it. You don't even care. You just be, oh, I just need a nice whatever to get to A and point A, point B. And if it is a nice car, even if it is a Lamborghini, it's yours. You doing it because that's what you want. You could care
Mhm.
less who saw you in it or whatever. But
Right.
once people start feeling like that, it won't be so more of I could sell my soul for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to sell my soul for something I want. You know what I mean? I feel like people are selling their soul because they want you all to see what they have.
And they want, yeah, because that's a part of it. They want the fame. And along with that fame is to show everybody they're on.
They're on.
I'm the man, I'm popping, I've got this, I have that. That's all they
Walk
do is
in,
sing about it.
I
That's
walk
all they do is sing about it. Matter of fact, I was going out to lunch today and I was driving in my car and a Snoop Dogg song came on and he was in the chorus. I never really, I don't know, it just occurred to me today.
in.
He said, I got the rollie on my arm
Feeling
and I'm
around.
drinking something, something. And I just said, wow, Snoop. I didn't even to myself, like you sold out way back then. That's just nonsensical. You're
Mhm.
not even talking about anything about the Rolex and like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, I know that line very, very well, and I've said it a million times, and I know what you're talking about. So yeah, he was on but now he's not on labels at all. Like he will,
Yeah, he seems to be in a different place. Yeah.
he's so yeah, his Rastafarian just shaved all that off.
And then I would say for Snoop, not for everybody else, but for Snoop, not for Snoop in particular, he came on the scene really young.
Oh yeah, he was
And
19.
so he has grown. You
Yeah.
do get a chance to grow and mature and
Mhm.
come up out of it, but so many people never do. It's just always, flash, flash. And
So
like,
listen,
you know,
listen to this. Now, this is what me and my son had this conversation about because we were saying with this the shift to everybody being okay with having sex with women and men having sex with men and women having sex
yeah,
with
not
women
everybody,
and
but some.
everybody's okay with it. What do you think's going to happen when that fad runs out? Because I believe it's a fad. I don't
Oh
think this
no,
is
I believe that these people is just a part of their history, and they've been working for a very long time to get this accepted, and I think they want this to be an ongoing
you
part of the
think it's here to
culture.
stay.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean they've
so
invested so much, and I hope you're right. I actually hope you're right and it passes, but it doesn't seem
tell
like
you
something
why
will
I
do.
believe it because when something is natural,
Mhm.
it's like almost like we always talk about our history. When something is naturally organic, it rises to the top and it's there to stay. No matter how much you keep digging it and deep, digging deep and putting it down, it's going to keep moving its surface and keep growing. With this, I don't feel like they ever did that. I feel like this just was on the surface. It grew from the surface up, and you have to keep working on it to keep it manifest. And I don't think that you can do this too much longer. I think when each person is born, each person is growing, maturing. I don't think you can keep this up much more long. It's too hard. It's not like you're doing this. It's not like you're doing this and it's natural. You're acting a certain way. Okay, so tell me this, okay? How is it that a straight man can get locked up, go to jail, whatever tragedy happens to him in jail? I don't know if he's raped, I don't know if he's just lonely, I don't know. But he's a straight male, never desired a woman, but goes to jail around all these men and something happened. Now all of a sudden he a flame. That you're working
A
on
trauma
that.
response. That's a trauma response. If you are, brutalized,
Mhm.
sodomized multiple times, and then you mean they become flamboyant and feminine and over the top.
Gay and
That's a
don't.
trauma
Okay,
response.
but then my thing is this: there was a guy like that, and then he got out of prison, and his family wasn't having what they knew the guy who went in who was a man, and he psychologically was messed up, and he's in therapy and going through all of this because he knew that wasn't him. He was acting a part, and he says it. He was
That's
acting a part. Like you said, it could have been survival. It could have been a product of his environment or whatever. But he even knew it couldn't withstand because he couldn't be that. He had a whole kid and girlfriend out here, or I think he even had a wife or something out here. But it's just something happened to him. So my thing is that takes a level of acting that you just have to keep acting accordingly to this thing. And if it's not natural, it can't withstand.
Mm.
Why once he was removed out of that atmosphere, he became a man again.
Well, what I can say is I absolutely hope you're correct in that it passes. I don't see that in the future of this particular society, this Sodom and Gomorrah that we're living in. But hey, I hope you're right. Well, that kind of transitions actually into another topic that we wanted to discuss, which is the trans um, men. Remember, we had
Hello,
an article,
hello.
men in prison getting
What
women
did they talk about it?
pregnant. Yeah.
What are the men doing? They're impregnating who? Because they can't impregnate themselves.
Yep, they're
So they're
impregnating
trans.
women in the prisons. And they said there's a rash of pregnancies.
Uprise is what they call it. It's on an uprise.
Yeah, I mean,
Women
like,
getting
what?
pregnant now that men who say they identify with being a woman but haven't had an operation yet, so they still have their penis, are going into women prisons, and now these women are coming out pregnant or in pregnant. They're in there pregnant. So what does that tell you?
There's something
You're
wrong.
a product of your environment.
There's
And
something wrong, though. You are so adamantly wanting to be a woman that you want to get your private part removed, but then you go into a prison around
women,
women and then it's working and you're using it. And I mean, like, what? What?
point
What?
taken. And okay, and you can't have it both ways. You can't,
Right.
not you, you know what I'm saying.
No, I
I
mean,
always say you.
society can't have it both
That's what I
ways.
mean when I use you as a society word, because you can't have it both ways. You can't have, well, people are born this way. This is natural. You got to let
That's
people
what
be.
I'm saying.
You can't have
Is
it,
it real or is it not? If
but
it's real, and then look at, remember we had the conversation about them going into the spa with his penis dangling and stuff. It's not appropriate. You're not a woman. You're not a woman. If you are going to be allowed in, we got to take that thing that we got to do something, because at the end of the day, you're a
if
man.
your private part is still there, you're not anything of, well, you're not anything even if your private part isn't there. You're not a woman. I'm sorry. You're never going to be, y'all. We can all argue over this all day long. That's the one thing Candace Owens might have said out her mouth that I will probably agree with forever. That just because you are a cup, you're
Just
not
because
going to
you
all of a sudden
say,
become a plate because you want me to call the plate the cup a plate. You're
just
not.
because you say you're a cup or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
she
You're
was right on that. I
yeah,
can't.
that to me was a good breaking down for the elementary education. That was good
I
for me.
mean, I guess once they cut that whole thing off, take the hormones and all that, you're not a woman, but you're really not a man either
But you're
anymore.
not doing that in the men's prison. If you was cutting it all off in the man's
Then
prison,
we
giving
wouldn't
him
have this.
breasts, giving him hormones, and then he coming over into the female prison, if he's
You
Still
wouldn't have
men,
this issue. We wouldn't have, because you don't have anything to make them pregnant with.
you have nothing to make them pregnant with, and clearly they've had something put in their body to make them feminine. So any woman can probably protect herself, against him. You know,
Y'all
he
can gang up or whatever, but he's
right.
not going to be attacking you because he no longer has that part. So it's not going to work. It won't be.
That's my point.
It won't be.
You can't
But
even
this is a
say
big
it's
issue because you really hit on what I was thinking. Are you born that way? Is it all that if you can? I mean, come
first
on,
of all, it shouldn't be working, period. And see, people always
because you
want to
shouldn't
color.
be attracted. You're not a man just because you see those boobs and that fat A or whatever. No, hey, I'm one of you. I mean, I don't get excited
That's
when
the
I
gray
see a woman.
area they want us to color in and say, well, let us all just have whatever we want. No, no. As a woman,
Uh, I don't
as a woman, I don't want another woman.
you
No.
know,
As a woman, I want another man, period. You're not going to say,
yeah.
but trans people can have who they want if they want to be bisexual or
Well, then let them
transsexual.
be calling themselves bisexual so that we can be clear, so that we can protect women accordingly. You
That's,
don't get both.
there
Because
you
like if we
go.
go to a dressing room and we're trying on bikinis and I happen to see, I'm not going to be like, no, I've got my own stuff. If you're
Right.
not a man, you don't have what I'm interested in.
Not at
So
all.
something's not adding up
No,
here.
no, it's not
Something's
adding
not
up. And my
adding up
thing is, this is
here.
they're being fake about, because if you can't just say, like I said, flat out, I have something on me that I don't want. I want it removed, and whatever y'all gonna call me from here on out is what I want to be called or whatever. But don't try to say you're a woman and then all of a sudden your things start working the correct
I was
way.
astonished, to be honest. I was astonished, but you had called it all along. But I was like, he's in prison. They're in prison, impregnating women, men who don't want to be men and are not and consider themselves women. How does that work?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work because if you're a heterosexual woman, heterosexual women don't want other women.
Right, only
We want to be
bisexual or
bisexual.
lesbian.
We
You
don't
got to
want to be
be lesbian
trisexual.
or bisexual. That's it.
We don't. So my thing is this: you can't say you're me. You can't say I'm just like you. You can't because I just told you I don't want another woman. You get in prison and you wanted a woman, but you're supposed to be
A whole
like me.
lot of them apparently. This is a whole big thing. This is a whole big thing. A whole lot of women apparently.
So that's why I said you
So
can't. They can't
I
have
mean,
it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You got
yeah,
to.
see, you can't say, "Oh, the women forced them into it because there are no men." And because you have to get your part physically working. So in order for your part to physically
That
work,
thing working
there's got
just
to be some kind of attraction.
attraction.
Yep, and there's got to be. That's how that works. That's
They are
how that
working just
works.
fine. Human nature made it work just fine.
That's crazy. And so I'm going to be curious to hear what the LGBTQ, I think I'm missing some letters, what their community has to say. Because how does this change the discourse, the dialogue?
That's when I told you they become gray area people where they say, well, don't worry about it. Let people just be with whoever they want to be with. It's like, no, you can't have
Well,
it both ways.
if we're going to let you be how you want to be, don't do it around women. If
They
you
don't
want
want it done around
to go
them.
to well, they need to make them a trans prison. If they
A
cannot go to the
trans
male prison, because what they
everything.
cannot do is come over here with the women pretending to be a woman and then start impregnating the
And then
women.
you're violating because if I cry on your shoulder and you and I crying on each other's shoulder, shouldn't stuff be popping up? You know
Right,
what I'm saying? We shouldn't
right,
be popping up. If I'm
right.
girlfriending you, wait a minute, hold up.
And I
So
think really you hit on something too. That population of women is vulnerable because they're in prison away from their families. Who knows when the last time they got some, so to speak. I mean, it's all crazy, girl. I was like, what? This cannot be.
it
Not,
is. It
not
is.
these men who don't even, they say they are born in the wrong body.
I understand that.
That's what they say. So this doesn't make sense logically.
And I do believe they are some people that I've seen some men fingers and feet and features just seem like it's so feminine from a youth age that you almost can be like, I can see him saying he was born in the wrong body. But when you got 30 years, family, kids, and all of a sudden you want to switch up and play other games and do this, I can't support that because I really believe that little kids know at a young age they feel some kind of way. They don't know what it is, they can't describe it, but they feel some kind of way. And I feel like if you just let them live, they'll figure it out whether they want to go to, I want to be a man route, or I want to be a feminine man route, or
Mhm.
gay man route, or trans man route. I think men and women will figure it out. I don't think you
Stop
should
putting it in
push
the
them.
cartoons and giving them sex education at kindergarten and just doing all kind of crazy. I
And
mean, like, really? Oh, wow, we just went down a different road. But if your position is so valid and this is really how people are and feel, why are you pushing it in our face? Why are you pushing it in our music? Why are you pushing it on our kids? Because if what they're saying is really true, all this stuff will happen anyway. Like you're saying, just one day people will be like, I'm gay, I'm gay.
yeah,
You don't have to make them gay.
that's my point. And I understand that there was a dynamic in life where there might have been two dads that wasn't, showcased to a kid who might have two moms, two dads. So
Mhm.
they felt left out in the world. I get that. And I can't imagine a kid feeling left out about something like that. Like, well, that's not how my family is. I have two dads. Everything on TV is mom and dad, and mom and dad, or and we you can try to say the thing about black and white. You can say, well, my family isn't represented either. That I see two black families. My family's black and white, or Asian and black, or Asian and white. I get all of that. And I get that you want to be represented. I get that. However, you don't have to sexualize it.
Yeah, and you also don't, I mean, like, I don't know, call
Isn't the
people,
prison thing sexualized? Didn't it come all break down to being
it
sexualized?
became man and men and women. It became human biology.
Right. So
And we're
like,
locked away in this joint and let's get busy.
yes. Yes. So isn't that sexuality like that wasn't just a man who came to a female prison feeling like a woman. It turned into sex, right? So my thing is this: it's the same way if he goes back to the male prison. Doesn't it turn into sex? And that why he wants to leave? Because he sexually doesn't feel like he wants to be around men because he thinks he is a woman
Doesn't
sexually.
make sense. It really, I'm sorry. None of it makes any sense to me. I need to hear them explain this to me and it can't be any gray area. Because they're not taking any gray area stance when they're adamantly declaring that they're in the wrong body and this is how they were from birth. They've been a woman. There's no gray area. Nobody's sounding uncertain or I didn't used to be this way or may not always. They're saying biologically
Yes.
this is how we're born and this is how we are and I'm in the wrong body and you can't fault me. Now if you're a hermaphrodite, which is when they are born with
Yeah.
both,
Yeah.
now you can choose because you both you can pick and
Right.
choose.
Right. You can leave it alone.
Right, I have no problem with that, but this throws a wrench in the whole ideology.
And see, and I worked with a girl one time, and her husband had came into the job, and when he walked out, I stood behind her and I grabbed her around her hips. I said, "You do know he gay, right?" And she started laughing, and she's like, "Well, I am too." I said, "I know," but I said, "Do you do know he
So
gay?"
a gay woman married a gay man,
Yes, and I said to her,
they had children.
"No, they didn't have any kids," but I said, "So you know he been with men though, right?" She was like, "I'm sure I know that." And I said, "And can I ask you how are you
Why
okay
would
with
you
it?"
marry? Why
I
are they?
asked her how she was okay with it. She said she was one of the people that said to me, "I just think people should be with whoever they want to be with." I said, "Just like that, it's okay." She was like, "Yeah, he doesn't mind me being with women. He knows I've been with women."
It
And
seems
I said,
different for a man,
and
and
you
I
don't
know
mind him
that's
being with."
not the
And
same.
she had no, mind you, this woman was a full figured Caucasian woman, but she was beautiful. She was, so it wasn't like she was. You can picture some
It is
fly by Betty that just need anybody. No, she was really a pretty woman, and she said, like she had choices. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like she was scraping from the bottom of the pudding cup. She had choices. She didn't have to be with this type of
I
person.
think she's very mature because most women feel that once a man goes that way, yeah, I mean, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Don't tell me you used to do men because it's a wrap.
Listen,
I can't deal with it.
that would be a no for me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All I'm gonna say, that would be a no for me. If that's
I
that
know
if
many
that
women
was
are like,
ever your desire and that was ever your craving, we can end all be all.
I don't even know why we feel that way. But if I have an inkling that you want to be, have been, would be with a man, I can't do anything with
Straight
you.
women are like that though, and I'm a straight woman. So my thing is you have any of those tendencies.
I can't do
For
it.
me, you can be my best
Oh, you be
boyfriend. We
my
got that.
buddy, but you can't
Yeah,
be my man. You can't be
sexually,
my
you
man.
cannot do anything for me. I can't.
It'll turn me off. I can't even.
And I'm not saying if a man has been molested as a kid or molested or whatever.
Well, that's
You are
different,
that
actually.
is totally different. And I repeat, that
That's
is not what I'm talking about. I'm
that
talking about
is
willingly
that's
sexual relationship.
yeah, that's
Oh,
not
but
consensual. That's abuse.
yeah,
That is not
no,
what
that is not even a
I'm
remotely the
talking about
same thing.
that
I'm not talking about that.
way.
Because
Mm-mm.
people will swear like, that's so messed up. You know how many people I can't, my heart
That's
goes to it,
different,
but
but
that's
you know
not
what?
that.
If that was a traumatic event for them as a
Right,
grown man, they're not going to be attracted to men. There's not,
right.
so it still fits right in the paradigm that we're talking about. They
Yeah.
still are only attracted to women, and probably when they even think about a man, it's a trauma response.
Exactly. Or even in a sexual experience, anything, like even doing what was done to him, doing it to a woman would even like probably give him hang up. So my thing is this, you get up, you're not even in that category of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a willing grown man talking about, he on the down low or whatever they calling it these days.
If he looks like he wants to be with a man, has been with a man, has any, I can't, it's so unappealing to me.
Right.
It makes a relationship, a romantic relationship, an absolute no.
That's
And
right.
I
Keep it
know that
moving.
men don't feel that way when women have been with women and want to be with women.
They feel like it's still sex appeal to them. They feel like some men, because I did know a guy. And I asked him why him and his girl broke up. And he was like, man, she was on, called her actually a carpet muncher. That was like, I said, what is a
Oh
carpet muncher?
my God,
And he
Dora.
said, a woman that is sexually attracted and has sex with women. I was like, oh, what? I mean, we're being
Well,
honest.
when you say
I
it,
didn't,
I can
yeah,
get a really good clue of what he meant, but
yeah.
Lordy.
And
But
when I mean, we were being honest and he was being honest. And I said, so you had a problem with your girl sleeping with another? He was like, she would have a problem if I slept with a dude. And I was like, that's different.
well,
I
that's
said,
different too. We've been told it's
yeah,
different,
that's
but
what I said. And no, he told me, no, it made him sick. He was like, nah,
nothing to
nah,
feel in that
nah.
way.
If I have kids, you ain't bringing that stuff around my kids. Nah. And then it changed for me when he said it.
I mean, yeah, I can
No,
respect
but once he brought the kids into it and say, nah, she ain't gonna be doing all that. Nah, I ain't marrying
even
nobody.
without the kids, I can respect his position because I feel the same way as a woman when it comes to men. So
I did not until he brought the kids into it. I still thought he was being ridiculous. I was like, boy, stop playing. There's nothing wrong with two women doing
everybody
it.
doesn't have to be attracted to that,
Yep.
it
But when he
does.
brought the kids into it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
I get it
Yeah.
without the kids. Okay, so our last and final topic is just this thing that happened. It's been like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I have that channel, Raising the Vibe. And I have the TikTok. So typically I have a long term, like a more considered video on
Mhm.
Raising the Vibe and a spur of the moment type thing on TikTok. But anyway, so I have that channel, Raising the Vibe. And a couple weeks ago, I went to send some money to the Gambia for a business venture.
Okay.
Okay. And so I took cash. But I think, Western Union might have been ripping me off on the exchange rate or something because it turned out not to be enough. And so, I always have some money in my purse and I'm digging in. And once I put all that out, I realized that I'm like $15 short. And I had only brought my personal um, Visa card, and I didn't want to put a business transaction on my personal card. So I'm
Yeah.
standing there trying to figure out what am I going to do. This white man behind me in the line goes, well, how much cash do you need? And I said $15. And he said, well, I have 13, and reached in his pocket and handed it to me. And then the lady behind, oh, so then I'm digging in my purse. I find 4 quarters, no more change. And then the lady behind him says, well, I have $1. So I was able to do the
May
transaction.
I ask what nationality were these people?
The lady was black, the man was white. And so I did the transaction. There was an ATM right behind them because I had my personal Visa debit card. So I went, I gave the man his money back. The sister was like, no, I don't need the dollar, forget
Right.
it. But the whole fact that he spoke up first, was willing to hand me that money, all that just made me lose my mind, because then I go out to the parking lot and do a video about that.
Mhm.
I actually did two, but I picked one that I posted. And in that video, I said, see, I've really got to change the way I think about white folk. And
Uh-huh.
I've really got to deal with them more on an individual basis,
Yeah.
because I do understand that you can be even betrayed. We all have been betrayed by Black men, women, whatever. That's part of life and part of us learning how to judge
Mhm.
character. So it can happen with anyone. So I'm feeling all multicultural.
Right, right.
So I post the video, like 40, 41 people saw it, bam, 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 bam. And then somebody, people start commenting. Somebody called me, oh yeah, it was actually my mom. That's
Mhm.
such an increase in maturity for you, because that's how I deal with people. So
Oh, no.
it started pissing me off. Then people commenting on the video, and then somebody commented on there and said, yeah, people should be judged individually. So then I want to go back.
Hmm.
I want to go back and comment that I'm still dealing with the white race as a group,
But you
in
can
light,
still have that.
light of how they have raped, robbed, and pillaged the globe. But
Mhm.
on a one-to-one basis, I will have a little more leeway.
Mhm.
Well, censorship YouTube would not let me make that comment. I
Well,
typed it several different times. I toned it. The part I think it is when I say the way they've raped, robbed, and pillaged white people have. Every time I put that, because there's a woman who came in, went in on me. Girl, she went in on me
you
on the,
couldn't use like the money sign for the A for,
I don't know. Well, I didn't. I just typed it.
yes, you just go around it.
Well, it's gone now, because not only I didn't make it private, I deleted the whole damn thing. I was so annoyed. I was like, now when I'm feeling generous toward this group of people, I can post it. But when I want to speak truth, you're going to block me. So what I'm going to do is block the whole post. But this woman had come on there and gone in on me talking about, you need to take that down. You're being, I'm not lying. She's like, you are being a traitor to your race.
Black woman.
Mhm. She's so negative. Come on a lot of people channel. You're being a traitor to your race, and now you're gonna do all this over $13. She said, "I'm sure the slaves did more than." She went.
What? So
She
not
said,
the
"I'm sure."
fight though.
She said,
That's
"I'm sure
not
the
the fight.
slaves did more than $13 of work and da da
So
da."
that man had slaves.
But you know what?
That man might have benefited from the
No, but they didn't
platform.
even let her post go up. Normally, her posts get deleted.
Mhm.
I don't, they need to stop censoring, but her post gets deleted. I don't do anything. I was going to respond to her so that she and I could have a dialogue, because I'm always willing to discuss a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But when I went on there, it was gone. They just wiped her post off. They wiped my post off. And I was like, if I can't say the bad, then I'm not saying the good. And then, of course, within the hour, I'm seeing all the Karens calling the cops on people, telling the lady at the corner trying to sell her bonnets that it looks like a drug. I was like, oh no, I'm right back.
Yeah,
Ugh,
I saw
what
that
was
too.
I thinking?
I
What
saw that
was I
too.
thinking as white people?
But my thing is this, right? The, everybody should be based on individually.
No,
That's what I
everybody,
feel.
everybody didn't go over to the continent and steal my ancestors. Everybody
Exactly.
didn't go to Australia and kill off all the
Exactly.
Aborigine and take over their land. No, they get judged on who they are. That
Right.
stuff is in their DNA,
But
just the same way our ancestors are in
but
our.
you got to remember, for every person who did wrong, there was somebody, maybe not a whole bunch, maybe not, but there was somebody who knew that was wrong and wanted to speak out and did whatever part they could. Like when you think of the Underground Railroad, the Underground Railroad was built with whites and Indians, or white Indians who could pass for white, and whites who was sick and tired of what they saw dealing with, slavery. And they had a passage.
Go
They
back
had
to
a
your
passage.
Muhammad Ali quote.
No,
Go back
yeah,
to your Muhammad Ali quote.
I love the
That's right.
Muhammad Ali quote,
That's
and that's my thing. But before they before you, even though you got the 5,000 behind and the 1,000 good in front, my thing is this: I'm still not going to, when the 5,000 who's behind them is nowhere near, treat the 1,000 that are good bad, because that's not my point. Now, when I know that the 5,000 that's behind, that the bad ones, if I know them,
white people, you don't know. You don't know who's who and how they're going to play out. And
that
this
is
is all
true.
I'm
That
saying.
is true.
I'm back to where I was. I'm back. I appreciate that man. And
Mhm.
when somebody shows me excessive kindness, I'm going to respond accordingly. I have some white people in my life that I've always said that I'm close to them. I respect them. I will do whatever, for them. But I'm back to where I was. I'm giving black people the benefit of the doubt if you come at me correctly. I mean, not everybody, but those who act like they're half as decent. And I'm going to be suspect of white people until they prove otherwise. I'm just not, because no, because white supremacy doesn't exist without them. They benefit from it, they participate in it, and I'm not going to pretend they
I
don't.
just think
I don't care.
I think all the people who are Caucasian that know me just know me and know that, we all good until we ain't, you know, we all good until we ain't. And that's how I've been, you know what I'm saying? So
It's hard to deal with them like that when literally
it's because I
within an
feel like
hour
I've
I
been dogged
saw
out by
5 or 6 events of them acting a fool against black people, and it's just hard to forget that.
and it hurt. Well, my thing is this: it hurts different when they do it. Like I can hear the same exact crime, like that black guy who just killed his baby mother and her disabled daughter, and then stabbed his son, and then burnt the house down, and he made his son sit in court. Like the whole time I'm texting and I'm like, Tor, just stop. Like I'm sending negative energy through the cosmos while I'm like, somebody please like annihilate his existence. Like I don't want him on this planet. I don't care what his son feels in his heart. Like one day I hope to talk to my dad. And
But that's just an extreme case.
that's what I'm saying. Like that to me, right? If I heard that a white man had done the same thing to his white child, it would hurt me equally the same. It would make me hate him equally the same. Now, switch it. If I heard that a white man did this to a black family and a black child,
Probably not going to jail for very long. Let's start with that.
so that's an emotional abuse that goes along with the trauma that I'm already mad and hurting and feeling. Like it's something extra because it feels like I sent you the thing with the Greece about the Greece being racist and Greeks being racist and it's on fire. I felt like when I read the article, or I even saw it on the news, where these six, I think it was like 9 total, but only 6 got charged, beat this poor
Yep.
college good kid to a pulp
Over a woman, right?
of a woman that asked him to take a selfie with her.
Right. It
And
wasn't even like he was going after her.
but listen, even though they were Serbs, the people who did this all weren't Greeks. But my thing is, the Greek, country protected these people and just
All the
left
groups
this
sat there
poor
in that
child.
bar and
So
watched that happen and didn't step up and
like
try.
you didn't think like y'all ain't from my country. You ain't gonna make us look like we racist and not give y'all time. Y'all, for every person who hit him or kicked him, and as he died, you will be charged with murder. No, they was charged with battery and assault and all this other garbage.
That's what I'm saying about about white people in general. And I understand all of the people who say they're just people. We have to deal with people individually. There's a whole global system set up to favor them that they participate in. And I'll be damned if I'm going to be giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm just not gonna. I don't like the way they behave. I don't like the tears. I don't like the way they behave. And it's a turn off. And I did lose my mind temporarily and
You
say
did
that
not
I
lose
was
your
gonna
mind.
do
That
something.
was the universe. The universe was just trying to tell you they ain't all bad. Some of them are
Yes, I mean,
exceptionally great people.
I'm kind to the cashier at the grocery store. I think I overstated a little. It's just my general feeling. I'm tired of the way things
But
are.
you can celebrate whoever treats you great. Like Prince Harry, every time I hear something about Prince Harry, I just be saying, oh my God. I mean, I'll say this about a good black man, and I'll say this about a good white man. If any daughter is looking for a man to date and love her and protect her, that is your ideal. That's what you want. Somebody like that. So just because he happens to be a white man, I'm not going to take that credit away from him. But if the example is a black man at the time, you know, so be it. You know what I
What
mean?
I'm saying is if they demonstrate themselves to be of a stature like Prince Harry, like the
Right.
people that I know in my professional and personal life have demonstrated themselves to be stand-up people,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna treat them accordingly. I don't even think I see color with that. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't know if you're gonna pop off and try to call the cops or act a fool. I mean, they just act a fool, and I can't.
And in my mind, right, I don't activate that. I don't activate it every day. I don't activate it every other day, but it does activate. So
What do you
if
mean
I'm
you don't activate it?
when I step out of my house, I do not own the gene of, oh my God, there's a police officer. Oh my God, he's
Oh,
pulling behind
yeah,
me.
I know.
I do not activate, oh my God, I'm the only white black person in my spin class. Oh my God, why aren't there
I
other
wouldn't
black?
like that. I would
I'm not,
like that.
but if you make a racist comment to me, not one that goes over my head, not one that you would have made in general, no matter who, but when you say something directly to me, I can catch it, I pick up on it, and then I deal with it at that moment. And I take, but it could be a white person right next to you,
We
and I
can't be like
promise you,
that.
I will not accuse that person next to you of being as ignorant as you. I
We
don't know how to
can't
do
win
that.
like that. We can't win by only holding whites accountable when they do something to us personally.
Mhm,
And I will tell you that having gone to Wisconsin undergrad
mhm.
and law school and having been around them all that much and lived in Norcross in a whole big apartment complex with just me and one other black woman, I don't like being the only black. And
You
if I
don't? You
Oh,
notice it.
absolutely not. And if I go into an environment and that's it, see, I'm fortunate I don't have to deal with that stuff. I would leave. I'm not going to do that. It's not comfortable. It's not desirable. You don't have to not want me in your neighborhood because I don't want you in mine. I just like to be around my people. And
See, that hasn't activated in me
it
yet.
comes from the historical trauma
Mhm.
that their people have imposed upon mine. And so I know enough educated, intelligent, well-to-do black people that I don't really deal with that a lot. Only in my professional life and only with people I really like. And with the professional people, with the lawyers
Mhm,
who are jackasses,
mhm.
I treat them like jackasses,
Right.
right? I know plenty of them and I treat them accordingly. But with the ones who are not like that, then I have a soft spot in my heart for them. But I think that my stuff has been activated because I want to elevate our race.
Mhm.
And so, in order to do that, I have to have a clear mind about what has happened so that I'm just appalled at the way they behave, to be honest with you.
See, and I feel like
Appalled at
the
what they've done
universe,
across the world.
I just feel like the universe doesn't allow, maybe it doesn't happen to everybody because see, my daughters, well, I went to this spin class and I became very cool with this one lady. And then I brought my daughters into the spin class and they started talking to the lady. Who knew a year later that her niece that she would tell my daughters about and my is one of my kids' best friends.
Well, I
Best
think that's beautiful.
friends. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about they've had like if you heard some of their conversations, like her mother and I have had their conversations about stuff that they talk about. And she's like, how are you okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, however they deal with their racial traumas is how they deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if some of the jokes they have done to each other racially, my kids and them have done to each other. And I just look at them and I go, well, maybe that's their coping mechanism. I don't know.
We don't live in that world over here.
Yeah, like,
No, I mean, we're not, I know that I'm coming off sounding racist, and
no,
maybe
not,
I am. I mean, well,
you're
not
not
racist.
pro-black does not mean you're racist. That
And
does not mean
also
you're
just
racist.
means that it's too much. Like they need to stop. They need to stop shooting us down in the street. They need to stop calling the cops unnecessarily. They need to stop showing out and acting out and give us a chance to like you. But I'm not going to like you and your kind when every time I turn on social media or look at anything, it's you guys showing out. It's not going to work for me. When you show as a group a better set of behavior, then I will treat you better. And until that happens, I'm not here for it. I'm just not.
That is going to be a conversation. We definitely got to bring more people on to get them to see, that we both probably agree, but we just have different ways of getting to
Well,
the
if
agreement.
we're at a restaurant and there's a lovely waiter or waitress, we're nice. I like people. I mean, on a genuine one-to-one basis, I go on your energy. But there is
Oh,
something in me about their group behavior that's such a traumatic thing for me that I'm like, man.
well,
Yeah.
now that is true because I have had experiences where I can see someone walk up to me and have already determined you are black. I don't like you. I don't want to be in your like you said, waiter.
Energy. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, you're gonna ruin my experience. And so I'll usually, if everything is equal, contact the manager, like, do you mind if we get another waiter, just because I don't want to stress her out, and I feel like and I'm in a good mood and I'd rather her energy focused on someone else. I normally will do that
Mm.
because I have seen me be put in a position where people have walked up to me and it's straight racial. It's not I've had a bad day. Don't feel like dealing with these people. No, no, no. It's a black thing. I've had it, and not just with. Don't think I'm saying this about a Caucasian person. This actually happened to me at an Asian restaurant,
Huh,
and
they're the worst.
and
I don't
I
know what
kept trying to be nice to this person, and I said to her, "What did I do to you? What did I do to you?"
Asians don't like blacks. I'm sorry. Individual Asians may like us, but as a group, you get this all over the internet how stupid we are in their
Well,
freaking
I had never gone back. They never would have received. And they had
in
Groupon.
their museums where they have pictures of Africans next to monkeys and gorillas. Asians don't like black people. And I don't know why everybody's acting like they don't get that.
I think it is a certain group of Asians that don't like black. I really believe that because the ones that I have come in contact, that one was a Chinese, happened to be it wasn't a Chinese restaurant, it was a Japanese restaurant. And I've never gone back there
They
again.
think they're smarter than us. They think we're lazy. I mean, they have some, I mean, I don't, some of the younger ones actually told me this, and this is what they're getting from their parents. And they're telling me this in an effort to say, we're not like that in my generation, but you can't not be like that when you grow up in a home and that's all you hear. Some of that's in you. And
It's
but
so
our
funny.
time is up. Our time is up, up, up.
We've said these things to our personal children, like watch out for different nationalities to treat you a certain way.
We haven't said
Don't ever listen to us.
well, such and such type of people are lazy and they're
No.
crooks and they're stupid. See, it's the kinds of things they're saying.
Yeah, we don't say they're baby murderers. They ripped your stomach open. They hung. We don't say that. And
I did. I took my kids to the museum to show them the section on lynching. I wanted my kids to be aware of who it is because if you don't know what happened, then you can't make sure it doesn't happen again. And I'm not going to pretty up what's happened in this world. It just hasn't been pretty. And I'm not making it up. It's not like I'm saying something that wasn't done. I don't know. We're going to have some guests next week. We're not going to talk about this for sure. Well, I don't know, but that's not the intent. But, we're going to start having some guests. So we'll get some other viewpoints because I know I can be quite radical. But I think that it's a little deceptive because if you met me in your personal life, I'm just fine,
I
but
call you the female version of Malcolm X, though.
I'm
When
not playing with these people, girl.
I definitely call when I describe you, I say she's just like the female version of Malcolm X.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, that's our time for this week. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. We want you to come back again with Kicking It with Kimm and Torra. We want you to like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. Please pass this on so we can get everybody in on these conversations.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.